action boards versus policy making boards. Yeah, as an experienced manager yourself, you've probably experienced both of these, I would assume.
Yes. Yep.
The one that always, that I think they could be better at is getting away from the action and focusing more on decisions and making policies.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. So do you want to just kind of define, policy board versus action board, just so we know?
Yeah, no, that's a great point. Action boards I see as the ones that get involved in the day-to-day. The snow vendor is out doing their job and they want to come out and say, hey, you missed a spot. Or, here's a good example. As a manager, maybe you've got a story or can relate to this, like site visits being a delicate one, right? Sometimes boards want to be involved in those. Sometimes maybe you've just got a board member that wants to kind of control those. And that, depending on the level of involvement, can be counterproductive rather than enhance the site visit.
100%. So, as seasoned managers, we've done hundreds and hundreds, probably thousands at this point, of site walks. So when we arrive on site, we know exactly what we're looking for. We know the areas. Oftentimes prior to a site walk, we'll have, people are reaching out to us all the time on a daily basis, right? So I'll have a list of things to look at, in addition to the regular, just preventative maintenance and maintenance type things that I would be looking for, and violations as well. So really the key is efficiency, right? So most managers have several properties, and if it's a day when they're doing site visits, they're going to be on several different sites. So being efficient and capturing site walks with, our software in an efficient manner lets us, that saves us time, which we can use to actually take action on those things.
And I think that's the point, right?
Yeah,
is
exactly.
that boards shouldn't necessarily need to be involved in the day-to-day operations.
Yep.
Because they hire people like us or like whatever contractors might be involved to take care of those things. And again, I just think a board's focus should be this: make decisions, make policies.
Yep.
Right. And that's your lane, right? Everyone likes to use that stay in your lane kind of a thing.
Yep.
Here's where I see boards slipping into the action mode more. And of course, circumstances always vary. I get it. But generally, I see boards fall into that action when things are really complicated or really intense or really difficult. And it gets easier because they feel like, well, I can't control that, or I'm not knowledgeable about it, but I am on these things because this is easy. I'll give you like a real specific example. This year in particular, budget season might have been a little bit more difficult.
Inflation.
Yeah, exactly. So I witnessed a lot of boards that what would normally be a 1 hour budget meeting, you go through it and they sign off and we're good. All of a sudden now we've really got to hash this out and talk through and and rather than just listen to the experts, the manager presenting what you need, all of a sudden it's, when I got home tonight, I counted 6 garbage cans that were out. Can we tackle that first before we get to this budget? So all of a sudden they shifted their gears from, I'm not ready or qualified or whatever to get into the budget, but I can count garbage cans. So I shifted from policy and decision board to an action board.
Yeah, and I think, I like to use the term big picture, right? So a board is there to write policies, and they need to be considering the big picture, right? So when I say big picture, I'm meaning, in your example, the financial health and financial planning of the association for the next year. So, I mean, it's really it's a prioritization thing, right? Like that should be at the top. That's your role as a board member, is to make this big decision. Definitely lean on your manager a lot for that one, because we have a lot of experience writing budgets. We have a lot of experience with financials, financial projections, financial planning. It's a huge part of what we do. And that's one of the few areas where it is pretty black and white. There's not much gray area, which is, it's math. It's an excellent example of when, someone you pay your property manager, is really someone that you should be consulting and should be a great resource for you. But at the end of the day, you got to think big picture and you got to prioritize that over the action board.
Yep, it is. Action. The action items are important, but leave that and delegate that to the experts.
Exactly. It's what you pay us for.
Exactly. Right. Well, hopefully that can help some boards out. Thanks, Mark.